The first one is from Lauren Concar Sheehy. Get ready to be inspired by her story of resilience in the face of adversity. Okay. She is the executive director of the Garden State Film Festival, and she is also a filmmaker herself, having done a lot of work in production and writing and script supervising for Bloomberg Television, National Television Broadcast, NJTV, Cablevision, Fios, Comcast, and TEDx, among others. She is also, like me, a Television Academy member, TVMEs, a member of the New York Women in Film, Women in Media, and also the president of Brookdale Alumni Association. So, what you're about to experience in this keynote is you'll understand how she faced the COVID-19 pandemic adversity of social distancing head on, all right, by adapting and pivoting while leveraging the power of transitional leadership. And she does this quite well. You're going to see that. And I'm amazed by her story, and I hopefully you will be too. By the way, she was able to take her film festival virtual this year and set the model for other major film festivals. And she'll tell you about that. So without further ado, your first keynote speaker, Lauren Concar Sheehy.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 7th Annual Women's Entrepreneur Rock event. I'm Lauren Concar Sheehy, the Executive Director of the Garden State Film Festival. And we bring to our great state programs aimed to cultivate imaginations, introduce students to filmmaking careers, and expose all of us to the very best the cinematic arts have to offer in a media-saturated world. Okay, close your eyes and picture it. 5 days filled with current independent films from around the globe, mixing and mingling with filmmakers and celebrities, film premieres, award winners, screenplay competition winner, and movie music winners, and so much more. It sounds like a great time, right? Well, it was, but this year it was virtual. Prepare, pivot, and thrive. I don't think anyone had a handbook or the Cliff Notes version of how to survive in a pandemic. So for me, instinct kicked in, and while everyone else was buying too much toilet paper, the Garden State Film Festival was working around the clock to present the first film festival during the height of the pandemic with less than 2 weeks to build and execute the platform. If you can adapt, you can survive. Think about that. If you can adapt, you can survive. In 2020, the Garden State Film Festival created the future. We are small but mighty, and the organization is run mainly by women. For nearly 20 years, the Garden State Film Festival has been showcasing Jersey talent and bringing outstanding talent to Jersey from around the world. And I was not about to let anything get in our way. You know why? Art changes lives. We adapted to what the universe was dealing us, and we came out champions. We streamed online films and had Q&A talkbacks with filmmakers from around the world, Eastern Standard Time.
Hey everybody, welcome, hello.
We are now live on Facebook.
Hi everyone.
Hi everybody.
Hello, Garden State. Hey guys.
Welcome everyone.
Here's a direct quote from Vogue, written by Rakita Seth. Among the first to pivot to a fully digitized event was the Garden State Film Festival, the independent showcase based in Asbury Park, New Jersey. After the state's governor, Phil Murphy, announced tighter restrictions on public gatherings, organizers set up virtual screenings of more than 240 films for an audience of over 15,000. Each screening block was then followed by interactive filmmaker talkbacks on Facebook. Launching this as a digital experience provided a whole new reach that was global in scale to us. Our data shows that we screened in the Netherlands, Ireland, the UAE, the UK, Canada, Italy, Australia, Belgium, Croatia, and more. So filmmakers and film fans from around the globe reached out to us to show their support. So, step one, in the show must go on. Take the panic out of pandemic. On March 11th, we left a meeting with the Asbury Park City leadership, basking in the confidence that comes from knowing it's all under control. So at this time, we're veterans of 17 previous festivals. We knew number 18 was going to be our most successful ever. The very next day, faced with the reality that the country was on lockdown. We realized we had 13 days to create a dynamic new approach to our beloved multi-day event. And by the time it was all over, we were basking in a whole new way. I have goosebumps every time I think about it. Over 15,000 ticket holders experienced the pandemic version of GSFF with the same precision of presentation that is our hallmark. We worked around the clock to be able to present our 240 films securely and on schedule. We built our own streaming platform in record time. We gave new and veteran film fans a multi-day live stream experience that delivered each film in its planned time slot and virtual venue. And after each block, we invited viewers to take the short trip over to Facebook in order to participate in filmmaker talkbacks. We exhibited the energy and ingenuity of Edison, the godfather of filmmaking, who started the engine of the film industry right here in New Jersey. This was the first Hollywood, not California. We relied on Jersey grit and determination to do the impossible, while all around us was news of festivals canceling, South by Southwest shuddering, the Olympics quaking. Even Tribeca reached out to find out how we were doing this. We set aside none of our long-held commitments, celebrating the next generation of filmmakers on Saturday and Sunday morning by screening over 40 high school films and presenting every one of our coveted festival awards. We did it in our pajamas eating ice cream. I mean, if you couldn't be all dressed up on the red carpet, what else was better than eating ice cream? We basked when it was all over, knowing that we'd attracted 3/5 of our typical in-person audience during the first days of a nationwide chaos, while expanding our reach from fairly local to undeniably global. We curated the very best of independent filmmaking, and it took safely across borders, time zones, and political divides. We believed in the opportunity to venture into a new digital frontier that served as a blueprint for festivals worldwide. Was this the most demanding year of our history? Well, yeah, perhaps, but it was the proudest one too. Step 2, do the impossible with flair and ferocity. Everyone has to keep rowing in the same direction, and you don't stop until you reach the destination. But this requires trust. So look into your system, and trust is a huge thing. If we didn't like something that was coded on the platform on Thursday, the team stayed up to recode it and have the live stream website and everything ready for Friday. We just kept going. Partnerships are so important. We expanded our reach through multiple distribution channels thanks to our partners. Think about what new partnerships could you make? Without time to really market the pivot, we adapted once again, and we updated all of our ads, both print and digital, as well as the program journal book to read that the show will go online. Typically, we have over 25,000 attendees at our in-person event. So the fact that everything was digital and online was huge because now we were expanding and everyone all over the world was able to see it. Step 3, don't whisper when you can shout. I learned it's imperative to have an external viewpoint on your organization or business. If you don't promote what you're doing, how is anybody going to know? All of you are doing something great. You really need to take the time to pause and write everything that you're doing, the encouraging projects, the community outreach, and all the events you're contributing towards, and recognize them all as accomplishments. You're already doing this. You just need to get it out of your head and write it all down to start being able to promote what you're achieving. GSFF was showcased in major international media outlets such as Variety, Vogue Global Network, Condé Nast, Deadline, IndieWire, ET Canada, News Entertainment, among others. Step 4, face facts. So, okay, it's a pandemic, so maybe you're not going to make as much money during this time, but that doesn't mean you have to give up. Think outside the box and try to trim the excess where you can. Think about reaching your audience where they are at now. What does your clientele want or need, especially at this time, and go from there. Step 5, virus or no virus, be generous. How could your business expand its reach into the community? For us, integrating the arts into community life has been our way of life since the beginning. We provide a robust arts education agenda for public school students and special audiences. Our annual schedule includes screenings at schools around the state, senior and community centers, various VFW halls, the Gifted and Talented Convocation keynote presentation held each year, and more. Each month, our founder joins the Front Lines of Freedom, which is the largest military news and talk radio show in the country, designed to address and discuss the most pressing issues facing our armed forces, veterans, and their families. We present a movie of the month to their audience, and then we take comments and questions from the listeners. The military is a frequently overlooked and underserved segment of the population, and our commitment to them is longstanding and unwavering. Step 6, be grateful, be grateful, be grateful, repeat. Take the time to thank all of your supporters, your clients, the audience members that stick with you, and continue to build upon those relationships. Step 7, be a believer. So we believe we will see you up close and personal in 2021 at all of our favorite Asbury Park venues with our amazing film industry pals, volunteers, and audience members by our side. So mark your calendars now and plan ahead. It takes a community to make a movie and an even larger community to sustain and support the independent spirit we keep alive at GSFF. Movies are the strongest form of magic. We will not be placed on pause. We are ready for 2021. The question is, are you? Thank you so much for your time, and don't forget to explore the platform, enjoy yourself, and keep rocking.
What an amazing story from Lauren. Let me just say this. Lauren is definitely notorious, right? Think about what she did. I mean, in less than 2 weeks, she turned around her in-person event into a virtual event and got 240 films to be viewed virtually, internationally, by the way. As a PR person, I love the fact that she leveraged the media out of it. That was in Vogue and Variety magazine, really taking her film festival to the next level with her pivot. There's one message that I think everybody make sure that hopefully you heard this. She said, reach your audience where they are now. Now, some people are a little, trepidatious about moving into a different direction. But hopefully, in hearing Lauren's story, you see that sometimes you have to look at where you are now and then where the people that you want to reach are and figure out how to get to them. And if that means you have to do things more virtually, then that's the case. If you have to make more phone calls, it is difficult for some people who are just like in-person folks to make that shift. But you do have to take the time to look at where they are and figure out how to reach them. That's the only way for your business to thrive. And at the very beginning, she said, if you can adapt, you can survive. So you need to think boldly about how you can adapt and not always look at what you did before as a measure, because a lot of times we're not even living up to our potential in good times, right? So you have to almost have a clean slate and just think differently and change your mindset. So love that from Lauren. I'm so glad she was able to share her information with you. And I'd love for everyone to share how you've adapted this year in the reply box below this video. Please take the time to share with your fellow attendees how you've adapted, how you've been thriving during these uncertain times.